It's not the color I was expecting it to be, but okay. Alright, last ingredient, the copper naphthenate. I'll tell you guys what, this stuff has fiberglass tape over the lid for good reason, because it stinks and it's not even open. I suggest putting on a respirator if you're going to dip your boxes. Whew. Okay, let's get this thing poured in there. Alright, in goes the green stuff. Ooh, that's yucky. This copper naphthenate is 17%. Some of it's 8% concentrate, but this is the only stuff I could find that was in a gallon can. I only needed 1 gallon, so I imagine it works just fine. I got this recipe up of Bob Benny's beekeeping channel. I had a whole bunch of new boxes that I built. I'm going to give this a shot, see how they do. If y'all are going to do this, be sure to wear protective equipment. I got long gloves on. This is probably bare minimum what you should use. I've seen people using like a full front apron to cover their entire bodies up with sleeves incorporated into the apron that goes down your arms and act as gloves. But it's my understanding if you get this copper naphthenate in your eyes, you could potentially go blind, so you don't want that. And the stink of it is pretty potent, so you definitely want to have a respirator on too. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, that took a couple hours. Take a peek. This is what I did today. See, there's 23 deep boxes and then 34 double screen bottom boards that I built. Already had painted the outside and one side of the plywood, but I went ahead and dipped them because I was working on all this. So, and then I don't even know, there's I think maybe 20 of these mating nuke bottom boards. Maybe not quite that many. See, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 14 or 15, something like that. Yeah, use 5 gallons of mineral spirits, and then the simple $10 tub from Lowe's. And I dipped every one of them for about 20 seconds aside on the deep boxes. Oh, and I did a few rims too. I had a few rims laying around. I just cut some supers down that were bad in a couple spots, turned them into rims, and went ahead and dipped them so that they last longer. Like this here, there's 3, 2 over there, there's 5 of those. So yeah, hope to get some longevity out of these things. They're gonna sit here for about probably 3 months. You're supposed to let them cure out really good and get all the oily, chemically baloniness out of them, and then prime them, paint them, and all that good stuff. But I mean, for 7 gallons of material, I have 4 gallons left that I dumped back into the mineral spirits bucket. So I mean, that's what, let's see, 34, I don't know, 70 or 80 pieces of material, roughly. That's not too bad. I'm definitely going to be doing this for my brood chambers for sure, because they're going to be out in the weather all season long. Cost effectiveness is probably good too versus wax dipping. I don't even know what one of those wax melters would cost just to buy the wax melter that's big enough to dip your boxes in. So I think I spent about $200 on this material here for the mineral spirits and the copper naphthenate and the linseed oil. I'll bet that wax boiler is a lot more than $200. I think wax dip boxes look great, but as far as non-commercial beekeeping goes, I think this is probably the way to go. Build your own equipment. I did notice too, I would have showed you guys, but whenever you have gloves on that are covered in this material, you don't really want to pick your phone up and get it all over your phone. As you can see, I stapled and glued everything, right? Used exterior Type Bond 3, the exterior one that they make. You can see, like, where I had wiped the glue off as I was building these and stapling them together, that it didn't really penetrate into the end grain of the wood very well because of the wood glue. But that wood glue is waterproof, so it should be good to go with that. You can see this one here, it didn't get nearly as much glue on the end grain, and it's just solid green. You can see that little bit of a streak right there where it couldn't penetrate through the wood glue. So, and I did notice too, some of these staples, these are just I think they're 1 3/4, maybe 2-inch staples, 7/16 crown. Whenever I was dipping them in this stuff, it seemed like some of them might have had a little bit of a reaction. I'm assuming it's with the copper naphthenate, like off the end of some of these staples. And they're not corroded or anything like that yet, but you could see some bubbles coming out of these little staple holes. So, but this stuff does have a horrible odor. I mean, it's not like sewage odor by any means, but the chemical smell of this stuff is very strong. But I'm pretty happy with it as far as how far it went. Let's see, 24, 34, that's 58, 5 rims, 63 pieces, plus another, yeah, about almost 80 pieces of equipment altogether. So yeah, I still got to paint it like I said a minute ago, but I think it's going to do good. Some of these some of these are just built out of scrap material from work that I'd already stained, but the inside part of them, you know, let's see if I can get on this one here. The inside of that one's nice and green. Nice thing about this stuff is it goes all the way around all of the wood, so not just the outside. I've got several more brood chambers and honey supers and stuff like that I've already built and painted and all that stuff. I can't dip them in this stuff because I'm already using them, but be curious to see how long these last versus the ones I've already been using for a couple years. So, but anyways, I think this is the way to go versus wax dipping. The only downside is you gotta let this stuff sit out for at least 2 or 3 months in the weather and get it dried off really well. Bob Binney's recipe, I'm pretty sure it was 6 gallons of mineral spirits and then 1 gallon of raw linseed oil. I think I had boiled linseed oil, but that's all I could find. And then the copper naphthenate that he used was 7 or 8% concentrate versus I used the 17%. Maybe that's why this stinks way more than maybe it should, I guess, but I don't know. But I don't run 2,000 colonies. I've got 25-ish right now. So I'm going to push it up to 50 next year. Anyways, hope this helped you guys. I would have showed you more, but I do not want to get these chemicals on my phone. So anyways, hope this found you helpful, and good luck with your beekeeping, guys. Peace.